Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Mariam and I'm Operations Director at Immersive Search. Immersive Search is a global AR/VR recruitment agency, and we're on a mission to help 1,000 students plus and professionals, so you get AR/VR jobs. We've got 2 workshops in store for you today. Workshop 1, skills and type of talent in demand, and workshop 2, hiring and training in the metaverse.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Emilios, and I'm specialist recruiter at Immersive Search. I myself have been recruiting for, say, just under 13 years. The first 10 years was mainly sort of telecommunications focused. So it was mainly mobile networks, 2G, 3G, 4G, and fixed networks. So anything sort of fiber related for companies like Nokia, Ericsson, and then Huawei. And then sort of just before COVID, we started looking at AR, VR and decided to get involved as soon as we saw how COVID had impacted the world and how these technologies were just helping us adapt and sort of go forward, So our company goals are pretty straightforward. We want to provide exceptional XR talent to businesses across the globe via our streamlined platform. So that's, contract offerings, whether that's, 1 month, 6 month, or permanent for, longer term requirements. We also have a support network where professionals have opportunities to upskill via our training partners. To name a few included in that offering, there's XR Bootcamp, there's Hamilton Mercer, and there's Mastered. We also are really passionate about collaborating with universities like yourselves to try and create clear pathways for students to enter the industry. Because from our experience, there simply just isn't enough information, support, or advice out there for students, whether that's creating a portfolio, whether that's applying for internships, whether that's interview preparation, upskilling on various technical requirements, and, applying for jobs as well. There's just a lot of work that needs to be done. And I feel from our experience from speaking to students, a lot of the students have found opportunities through, grit, passion, and commitment. But I think if we all collaborate together, we can make this process a bit more easier and straightforward for candidates who wish to enter the industry. And if we're looking at the broader picture, we as a team are passionate about contributing to the process of making these technologies safe, inclusive, and accessible for the global community. There are various issues such as data privacy, security, and a number of others. So yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. And I think the more conversations we have and the more awareness we can help to bring to the global audience, the more we can, contribute to that process.
Hello everyone, my name is Rajat. I have been exploring AR/VR for the last 3 years. I'm an XR consultant at Immersive Search, former XR mentor at XR Bootcamp, and I also create videos on AR/VR and 3D development on my YouTube channel. Make sure you check out my Linktree to get all the resources that I share with the global AR/VR community every now and then. Alright, let's begin with the first workshop. So these are the 4 core topics that we are going to cover today. Firstly, we talk about the 3 categories of work. Then what are the job roles in the AR/VR industry? What are the skills required for these job roles? And lastly, how does a background in game design and development help? So to begin with, Any tech company in the world has three broad categories of work. That is technical, management, and the third one we are not going to cover today. But you can say that there's marketing, research, and many different kinds of departments. But for simplicity's sake, think of technical workers as the ones who do the work and the managers as the ones who get the work done. So every department has technical workers and managers. Let's talk about some of the traits of technical workers. Firstly, they are the doers. They love to build and experiment around with complex tools. They love figuring out solutions to complicated tech problems, often resulting in mind-blowing innovations. They find joy in how to do it over planning or discussing ideas. That's why they hate meetings. And lastly, they often term managers as meddlers. Managers tend to see the world differently. They are the planners. They know that if there's no plan, things are messed up. They figure out what needs to be done and then assign tasks to technical workers on priority basis. They have to make sure that their team members, their customers, and the senior stakeholders stay happy. So communication plays a major role here. Now let's talk about job roles. Again, technical and management. We're only going to stick to technical roles in this session. So these are the technical roles. You have AR/VR engineers, you have AR/VR designers, and somewhere in the middle are hybrids or generalists. Let's dive a bit deeper into the engineering roles. These are the different types of engineers that companies want, and you'll also see them listed in our job portal. We have software engineers, 3D application engineers, QA engineers, software development engineers, research engineers, and so on. Then we have design roles. We have AR/VR designers, prototypers, product designers, 3D level designer, animators, UX designers, interaction designers, and so on. Lastly, we have hybrid roles. I like to call them unicorns because they are very rare and extremely talented. They sit at the intersection of engineering and design, creative technologists, technical artists, application prototypers, and 3D generalists. All of them have different skill sets and responsibilities, which varies from company to company. We'll take a look at the skill sets in the upcoming slides. Alright, so far we have covered the three categories of work and the different job roles in the AR/VR industry. Now we'll dive into the core skills required for these job roles. Let's think of all the engineering roles first. These are the skills that you'll find in most AR/VR job descriptions, either all or a subset. Most 3D application engineers have these four skills. When I say 3D maths, it means the application of 3D maths across AR/VR, games, simulations, and 3D applications. So you have linear algebra, vectors, matrices, determinants, transformations, trigonometry, and much more. Under programming, you should know variables, conditions, loops, arrays, strings, and all these basics. It is a good idea to practice a lot of problems from sites like HackerRank or LeetCode because that's what will give you practice, and even if you try to apply for software engineer positions, you'll face a lot of coding problems to solve. Then under Unity, you have prefabs, game objects, scenes, materials, scripting, components, physics, audio, video, and you have to practice making different kinds of game mechanics inside Unity. Either that or make 3D applications in Unity where you can integrate some cool API, such as the IMDb API, to make a sort of a 3D cinema like feel, and just connecting with movies and playing a video in a cinema like environment. So that's like a simulation, but yeah, that can be transformed into a 3D application as well. And then lastly, we have AR VR SDKs. Based on your project requirements, you'll have to select one of the SDKs and then begin the development of your project. For instance, if your requirement is to make an AR experience for Android, you'll choose AR Foundation and AR Core. For iOS, you'll go for AR Foundation and AR Kit. So yeah, it depends upon the kind of requirements that you have. Now, graphics engineers have these skills. It's not that the 3D application engineers have no idea of all this, but they don't really specialize in these areas. Besides, you can't really understand a game engine like Unity unless you have fundamental understanding of computer graphics. Concepts such as ray tracing, rendering pipelines, geometric representations, meshes, texture mapping, splines, these are not required for creating games inside a game engine. But if you're interested in how a game engine works under the hood, then you should have a very sound understanding of all these concepts. And once you have covered the theoretical knowledge, it is time to apply all of it using graphics libraries such as OpenGL or WebGL. And a good project here is to create a game engine. Now, it doesn't have to have all the features inside Unity, because that is a bit far-fetched. You need a big team to build something like Unity or Unreal Engine. Lastly, if you have knowledge of computer vision, which also includes machine learning and deep learning, you have the power to create your own AR/VR SDK. There's a tool by NVIDIA that lets you construct 3D models out of 2D images. Internally, it uses computer vision algorithms. Again, creating such tools is possible, but it takes time, a great team, and a lot of research. So here are a few projects that most employers want to see in a candidate's portfolio. You don't have to do all of them. It depends on the kind of company that you want to join and the requirements that they mention in the job description. Here are some of the bonus skills that lets you have a competitive advantage. This includes web app development, mobile app development. 3.js is trending. I have some videos around 3.js on my YouTube channel, by the way. You have basic 3D modeling in Blender, and last but not the least, communication. Since we have shifted to a kind of remote first work culture, there's a lot of written and verbal communication that's required. Now let's move to design roles. Designers have these skills. Here when I say 3D Maths and Unity, it just means that you know all of it at a surface level. You won't have to write complex logic for games, so there's no point going too deep. There's something called visual scripting in Unity that can let you connect different logical pieces to create a low prototype of a game, to create a low fidelity prototype of a game. Then you have the Adobe suite, which includes Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, After Effects, and Premiere Pro. You can create one project using multiple tools in the design world. There's no silver bullet here. So these are the projects that employers look for when hiring designers in the AR/VR industry. Here, 3D applications and games should be simple and visually appealing. They don't need to have super complicated gameplay mechanics. Then you have UI, UX design, level design, VFX, wireframes, case study, which I forgot to mention in this slide, animations, and character art. And then we have these bonus skills. Alright, so we are almost done with the first workshop. Let's take a look at the fourth topic, where I'll explain how does a background in game design and development help. And here's the thing. AR/VR experiences are inspired by games. Games look realistic and futuristic. Here's what the Oculus Quest 2's home screen looks like. You can use your hands to open menus and do a range of other things in VR. If you have a good understanding of how to place diegetic and non-diegetic design elements inside a game, you can apply the same best practices in your AR/VR experiences. Please do keep in mind that the design practices are constantly evolving for AR/VR, and there's a lot of scope of research around this topic. This article that I wrote back in 2019 provides you with enough information on what are the different types of interactions that you can incorporate into your AR/VR experiences. Do give it a read. Lastly, you create better AR/VR experiences when you play and analyze more games. So if you have played games, you will automatically get unique ideas for your AR/VR experiences. And that's it. I love to share resources for the global AR/VR community, and you can find these resources at nightcube.gumroad.com. Thank you. We'll continue with the second workshop after the break.
I am co-founder and head of EDI, so I'm proud to say that both I and my fellow co-founder Emilios are from diverse backgrounds, both half Greek Cypriots, with my other half being Lebanese and Emilios being St. Lucian. Within the tech industry, I believe it is quite male dominated. So I'm proud to be part of XR for Women and give the opportunity for women as well as non-binary to feel empowered by also leading up projects within the XR world. It is quite important to us that we encourage employers to offer flexibility at the point of hire where possible. So roles can be designed which offer flexible working patterns, for example, parents with young children. Some of our strategies for removing unconscious bias from the recruitment process include a range of team members assessing CVs, anti-bias training for team members, and removing personal information from CVs, as we act in accordance to GDPR regulations. Immersive Search also offer referral schemes whereby there are incentives for candidates in our network to refer new candidates to the business. We attend job fairs for both non-university and university graduates. And Immersive Search actually also introduces new approaches to complement usual recruitment channels, so the employers have a wide, diverse range of candidates to choose from, such as AR/VR community groups, networking events in VR, and social media, for example, like Instagram and LinkedIn.
Okay, let's begin with our second workshop today, hiring and training in the metaverse. These are the topics that we are going to cover. We'll first discuss the various problems while training employees. Then we'll understand what companies are using AR/VR to solve these problems. Then we'll talk a little bit about the future of hiring. And lastly, get to know how Immersive Search is connecting global businesses with AR/VR talent. Okay, let's begin with the first one. Problems associated with training employees in the conventional method. Number one, it is expensive. Number two, there are safety concerns. And number three, they often require complex setups. Here are some facts. Corporations around the globe spend $177 billion annually on talent development. The roofing industry sees almost 41 fatalities for every 100,000 workers, with 81% of slips and falls in roofing caused by ladders. Various sectors such as military, medicine, and sports require complicated setups to train employees. There are additional hidden costs to hire supervisors that can run all these operations smoothly. So then, what is the solution? Corporations realize that AR/VR is not only about games and entertainment. It can also be used to offer safer and effective job training at lower costs. According to a report by PwC in 2020, onboarding and training employees by incorporating AR/VR experiences had several benefits, including 4 times faster learning, 4 times more focused learning, and making employees 275% confident in their skills. Due to these long-term benefits, companies started embracing AR/VR solutions for training employees across various industries. Let's take a look at some companies that are using AR/VR for this purpose. Striver offers VR training programs on health, safety, and customer service coaching. It raised over $30 million in 2020. Their platform combines learning theory, data science, spatial design, creator tools, and much more. We are providing analytics for insights around usage and engagement. Number 2 is also VR. It is a surgical training and assessment platform. They are teaching medical procedures in a virtual environment. Their goal is to improve patient safety, decrease the cost of surgical training, and increase the adoption of cutting-edge medical devices. It raised over $27 million in 2020. Microsoft's Mesh for Teams is another exciting project. It allows people in different physical locations to join collaborative and shared holographic experiences with the productivity tools of Microsoft Teams, where people can join virtual meetings, send chats, and collaborate on shared documents. It is also known as Microsoft's Metaverse for Meetings. With more corporations exploring and recognizing the potential of AR/VR, we are honestly not far away from virtual job fairs, events, and conferences. Allspace VR is a great platform where you see various events being conducted every now and then. There was a hackathon by MIT where the keynote and conference was done in Allspace VR. Participants communicated with each other in real time with the help of VR headsets. Head over to altvr.com to know more about Allspace VR.
Thank you for that, Rajat. And now we'll go over to Emilios to discuss the areas in AR and VR.
So areas we specialize in include augmented reality, AR, virtual reality, VR, mixed reality, MR, gaming and haptics, and WebXR. Obviously, it's challenging for us as, you know, there isn't technically a universal language for what roles look like, or, you know, technical guidelines for how the software is designed or developed, but we try to do what we can to try and analyze requirements as they come in, and then try to find the perfect match. Sectors include higher education, healthcare, training and learning, gaming and entertainment, architecture, and construction and consumer goods and retail. And this is actually quite an interesting area for us, because I remember in the early days when we started researching these technologies, there was a lot of noise at the time about Pokemon Go. Everyone was talking about Pokemon Go, everyone was playing Pokemon Go, and that really brought AR to, you know, to a global level in terms of attention wise, you know, and that triggered an interest in us. And then as we started to see the AR use cases, even if we're looking at the enterprise level, such as manufacturing, training, and healthcare, there's enormous potential there. So, you know, when people think of these technologies, please, it's not just gaming and entertainment. There's just so many other use cases and more to be established. Jobs we cover include CTO, portfolio manager, project manager, producer, program manager, software developer, software engineer, UI UX designer, technical artist, 3D artist, digital learning trainers, and instructional, I think I said instructional designer. But yeah, just to name a few, there's some of the roles we work on. And our clients' use cases include training simulations, maintenance, BIM architectural visualization, product visualization and configuration, and collaboration tools. What's unique about us? Well, we're obsessed with what we do, to the point where we really support projects 7 days a week, and we offer a 24/7 service. So, you know, we have clients in Saudi Arabia who start their week on a Sunday, and we have clients in the UK who traditionally start their week on a Monday. Our client base is mainly, you know, a mixture of startups and some really big, you know, enterprise powerhouses. So you have to be adaptable and you have to be flexible. Sometimes we get calls in early hours of the morning and you have to respond because there's a need there. And, you know, we are a service-based business, so we have to try and offer the best level of service to our clients. So our website, so we have a job portal which integrates into our website. So it's all automated. Now that reduces scheduling errors, it reduces cost, time to hire, it eliminates hiring bias, it's easy to use for candidates and clients. And I think more importantly, you get feedback from us. So if you apply for a role, you may not necessarily tick all of the boxes. That's fine. You'll still get feedback. We'll still jump on a call so we can understand your requirements a little bit more and then try and see if we can either fit you with something else we have or just keep in touch for other opportunities. Apart from permanent and contract recruitment solutions, our service offering, as Maria mentioned previously in the slide, also includes AR, VR technical writing, design and prototyping, which is managed by our remote team in India who support us with those requirements. So, 90% of what we do is typical recruitment, contract and permanent. Then 10% of that is, that service offering, as well as, university collaborations as well. Our community CRM has approximately 7,500 AR VR registered candidates, and remember that 7,500 AR VR registered candidates that we've spoken to, that we've built relationships with and know us, so everyone that's on our CRM, we've personally spoken to. So it just shows how many conversations we've had in the last 2 years, and yeah, our goal is to try and achieve 10,000 candidates specifically to AR VR on our portal by the end of this year. That's our goal. And if we're speaking specifically, UK, Germany, France, you're looking at just under 3,500. So it's a lot of work to be done. Now we want you to be part of our CRM and our community. So please, if you want to have a conversation, if you want to talk about your experience, if you want to talk about putting together a portfolio, if you want to talk about interview steps, interview preparation, how to approach companies you want to work for, then just reach out to us. hello@immersive-search.com. hello@immersive-search.com. We can promise you at least a half an hour conversation. Either myself, Mariam, or someone else at the team will jump on a call and we can just see how we can help. So yeah, and if you're interested in finding out more about steps to take to get into the industry, all you need to go is go on our webpage. So it's www.immersive-search.com. Click on the candidate section, register your profile, and then someone in the team will be in touch with you within a week to schedule a call to just understand your requirements a bit better and see if we can help. Thank you, and look forward to speaking to you.